Frank. Are you the proud owner of a SeaDoo switch like me? Were you excited to see that Garmin and the chart plotter, and you look at the icons and you find engine and you press that icon and you can see engine RPM and fuel consumption and how much fuel is remaining and battery voltage and all that sort of stuff? Yeah, me neither. The icon is there, but none of it is connected. So I thought something wasn't hooked up right. I went to the dealer and found out that no, that's not functional. All of that information you just have to get from the center console. Well, I'm here to tell you and show you how to install a product that will get that to work. So let's get started. The Yacht device's engine gateway for NMEA 2000 networks is going to be the trick to getting engine data on your Garmin. The Yacht device's engine gateway will work fine for the BRP engines. However, the wiring is not set up specifically for BRP. In the instructions, it'll show which wires to move around, or from Yacht devices, you can buy the adapter, which is what I did. Now, this will go under the engine, and what you're going to end up then needing to do is use the other drop cable that's included with the Garmin starter kit. So we're going to route the cable underneath to the engine compartment and then connect these to the diagnostic connectors. In order to use the Yacht device's engine gateway, you need to have installed the NMEA 2000 starter kit. Garmin makes one. I got this from West Marine at a lower price than I would have gotten it direct from Garmin. What this starter kit does is it provides power to the NMEA devices. So you need to have this installed. I'll show you how to install that. For your NMEA 2000 network, this is the backbone. Terminators at each end, power, and this will be to the engine diagnostic module, and this will be to the Garmin Echo Map. We need to get power for the NMEA 2000 network. Right there's a grounding block, and right here is the fuse box. On the front of the case, of the fuse box case, it will tell you what each of the positions are for. So you don't have to go hunting. You can just select the one that you need. From Amazon, you can get a little radar mount kit, or these things separately. I'll provide a link. Basically, this will plug into where the fuse is, and then I will add a connector to my cable that'll then just plug in here. This will plug into the fuse box in the location I selected, and then run out. Now, I can use one for any of them. If one of the spares is not connected with the switch, but live all the time, then I can just use one of these in place of, let's say, the radio, sound system, which is off when the ignition is off, and then I would just place the fuse for the audio system in here, plug this in, and then this into my NMEA 2000 connector. So I'm going to use the spare, which is on the left side. I'm going to try to see what that does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug my adapter in and then turn the engine. We'll see first if I get power with everything off, and then second I'll turn the engine to on. I won't start the engine, but I'll turn it on to get all the electronics up and see if I get power. Alrighty, the one we're going to use is this bottom one right here. When the power is on, I get a little over 12 volts. When the power is off, I get nothing. So this is connected to the switch, so we'll use this port. This is the plug that we want to use. You will have to modify the case a little bit to let that wire go through. So I just got a Dremel and a little drill and made a little notch there for the wire to slip through. Otherwise this cap is not going to go back on properly. Alright, there's my power coming out. I checked it again to make sure that nothing was loose or kinked or anything like that on the inside, and everything looks good. Power with the switch on, no power with the switch off. I like putting connectors on things. This will go into the grounding block inside the car. A block back in there, and then connect to my NMEA 2000 cable. On the back of your chart plotter, next to the larger cable, is this, and it says up top NMEA 2000. That's what you're going to plug your cable into. I've applied some dielectric grease to the connector, particularly for any marine applications. I like to use dielectric grease. This is the stuff that I use. I'm going to take the other end and run it through here. So I put my little pigtail into the grounding block, and now I just need to connect my yellow cable to that and to the positive. So I just plug those in. I'm going to mount my backbone. This is the underneath the console. I'm going to mount my backbone, my NMEA backbone right here. So I drilled 2 holes, one here and one here, and then I'll put my screws through here. It'll be facing inward. It'll be out of the way of the cover and up off the floor. All right, so I have my NMEA 2000 network backbone installed. I just used 2 screws there. There wasn't really a need to add a third one down here. It's pretty stable. My power cable and my Garmin EchoMap HD cable rolled up, tucked out of the way. I'm plugged in, and now I just need to add the engine cable to this, and I'll be done here. I'm going to connect my cable to my NMEA 2000 backbone. Now notice the cables have 2 different ends, of a male end and a female end. So make sure that you connect this first, because you're going to be running it underneath, and you don't want to run the wrong end underneath it and then have to pull it all out again. So I've connected my drop cable to the network. Here's the other end, and I'm just going to put it right down this access hole. So I'll connect this to my NMEA 2000 cable that I ran through here. On this side there's a little LED, and that's where your SD card is going to go to program this device. So you need to be able to get to it. I'm going to mount it right here with enough slack that I can get to it if I need to. This will give us a description of where these cables go. Now typically this is going to go into the corresponding connector in the engine compartment, and then there's just your pigtail to come back out. Because we're going to be using the adapter to get the wiring correct, what we have is this short pigtail right here. This is going to go to the regular CAN wiring, where the longer one is going to go to the device. So I've applied my dielectric grease to the cable that goes to the device. Now from my device, I'm going to plug these in. So I hear it snap. So we're coming around here to the device. This one is not going to be used because this is going to be the incorrect wiring. So now this end of the adapter cable, this will go in line, and then this will be the spare that we'll use. But this will not be. So I'm just going to tie wrap the two of these together so that it won't be used mistakenly. You're going to need to program your microSD card to use a text editor, such as Text Editor in Mac or Notepad in Microsoft Windows. You'll create a file called YDEG.txt. I've provided the TXT file below. You just need to copy and paste it from the comments section. The important thing is that the BRP Rotax equals on, the CAN engine speed equals 500, engine 0 is 1, engine 1 is off, and fuel equals gasoline. Then you'll insert the microSD card into the Yacht Devices device. I'm going to show you how I have this routed and tied up in here. This is the engine gateway. You can see it going through the electrical port there. You see two flashing green lights. That tells me that it's connected to the engine properly and connected to the transducer properly. So that's what you want to get. There's a little piece of tape that can go over here once you have finished your programming. Put that tape over so that nothing gets in the SD card slot, because you go ahead and just pull that out. I have a tie wrapped up here so that I can keep it away from the engine as much as I can. It comes around. Here's my connector. This is the cable that the adapter cable goes back into the dummy port here on the reservoir tank. My extra one that doesn't use, that I told you I was tie wrapping up, I just have that back in there. And I have it in line with some of the other stuff like the ski module I have. So all of that is connected through there. In order to get your gas gauge to read, from this menu hit Settings, My Vessel, Fuel, and then remaining fuel is going to be fuel flow, and then click Capacity and enter 29, because that's the capacity of the SeaDoo switch. Start with a full tank, because it'll then ask you how much gas you have to start. So start with a full tank when you set this. Now when you go to gauges and hit engine, you'll see the RPM working. Below it, you'll see the fuel flow, how many gallons per hour you're burning. I did start with 29 and have been running it a little bit, so it is dropping down, 28.3 now. I can come down here, I can get my voltage so I can see everything is charging properly. My engine temperature, boost. It'll also tell me what gear I'm in, forward or neutral or reverse. So there you have it. That's how you end up getting your gauges on your Garmin to work